Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Just got out of the map bans and picks. We're gonna get started here shortly on our playoff best of five, which we'll see how much how much the old vocal cords regret that in a couple hours here. But we've got a good match here. I'm very excited. Part of why I wanted to pick this one up is because we've got two teams that have picked some fun stuff. We've got Vikings games on both sides. We've had a Medivh on one side. We've had Samuro on one side. You know, all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm expecting a fun matchup tonight. Um, for the moment, I am already in the lobby. So let me go ahead and do some intro stuff here, get it out of the way so that I can be sure that I am ready. So, looking over here to well, my right on your screen, my left for me. Uh, so, looking at the standings, since it's playoffs, we've got an 8-team playoff in Division A, which is the second highest division this season. So, some good players ranging from diamond to low masters level for the most part. Um, gillyShark finished off number 3 in the division, 7-3 in their matches. There was one freebie in there for all of the teams, as there was a team that withdrew. So you can kind of say it was 6-3, but they were 16-6 map score, or 14-6 if you want to ignore the freebie. On the side of Can't Pause Won't Pause, finished at number 6, so they are the lower seed. As a result, gillyShark got to pick if they wanted map pick or first pick for the first game of the night. They went with first pick. But Can't Pause Won't Pause is sitting at number 6, 5-5 overall, 10-12 in map score. The only matchup this season the only matchup was this season between these two teams. They've never played before. They played about a month and a little bit ago, and gillyShark did win that 2-0, but it was not a stomp of a 2-0. It was a game. Both games, Can't Pause Won't Pause definitely had some footing in. And importantly, something I noticed going and looking at the matches, Can't Pause Won't Pause at that point um, was having a bit of a rough season. They hadn't won a best of 3 yet, and they've been 4-0 since that matchup. 8-2 in the map score. So they're coming into this on a hot streak. gillyShark also has been on a bit of a hot streak. I think they're 3-1 in their past 4. Um, so both teams, I mean, coming in hot, and I'm sure coming in with some teas, hopefully, some fun stuff. I'm gonna let them know I'm ready whenever, so they aren't waiting for me. But let's real quick look at the maps here. So gillyShark at Being a Knight banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout. I hope I got that right, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember any of this. I was just typing down what they said. Uh, Can't Pause Won't Pause and Sky Temple, Anvil Sky Foundry, and picked Dragonshire for our first map of the evening. And again, it's a best of 5, so odds are we're gonna see all but 2 of the unbanned maps played tonight. If you guys are lucky and my vocal cords are unlucky, we'll see. We'll see. Looks like we are all players in the lobby. We've got one team R, so we'll hopefully be jumping into it shortly. For the moment, I mean, talking about Dragonshire, that's a great map for some cheese. Um, and it's, I would say, as a competitive map, it's probably the most difficult map. Um, Rotations are so important, and more than any other map, I think it is essential that every player has a good idea of what they're doing on this map, because everyone needs to play independent. There is so much going on. 3 different points that you need to control, as well as multiple camps, of course. Um, the way you split up your heroes, the way you draft, everything is going to play a big part in how the game goes. And it looks like we have both teams ready, so we're going to get into the draft here shortly. But yeah, look for those off lane picks. Look for rotational heroes, your Genji, globals, of course, have been a big part of at least gillyShark's strategies this season. We've seen some like bruiser heavy comps from Camp Pause Wont Pause so far this season. I say so far. We're in playoffs. This is the end of the season. There's no more playing if you lose now. And we're gonna see an instant white main ban. So maybe seeing that massive, she's a healer who can be very oppressive if you have a good player because she puts out numbers unlike almost any other healer. And we're going to see another healer banned here, Stukov, Iron, known to be lethal on a lot of healers, but I would say Lucio and Stukov are the top two from him. Johanna, great tank for rotations because she helps clear the waves so quickly, and Blessed Shield starting at level 10, great for just quick picks on heroes, which will really get you a lot of momentum in the Dragonshire game. All right. Finally caught up. But yeah, I mean, Whitemane, that's a hero that can absolutely carry from the healer role. And we're going to see an Anubrak band, so that's another rotational tank band away. And Iron gets his Lucio. I know Iron, I play in our in-houses, fondly known and sometimes always referred to as outhouses. Complete coincidence in the name there. But his Lucio is unbeaten in NGS this season. It has either been banned or won the game, I think. So I could be a bit out of date on that. But Junkrat Dahaka is two excellent picks. High priority on the map. Dahaka, safe in the offlane. He's really hard to gank, really bulky. He's able to win some 1v1s. And otherwise, he's able to apply pressure with the global. He's able to double soak. He's just so versatile. If you need to pick an offlaner early, Dahaka is probably the one you want. And then Junkrat, great rotational and macro hero as well. Great for holding the point, bottom, or really wherever he goes, but bottom is normally where you're going to see him. So, Greymane Muradin, we're going to see, aggressive rotational pressure. Can hit buildings, they can hit heroes, but, wherever they are, they're going to be trying to hit stuff. Get in, kill someone, destroy a tower, whatever, get out fast. And so we're going to, Lucio really helps with that playstyle. And Chromie is a good bot lane ban here. Anchor that can kind of play into the Junkrat, be very safe while the rest of that team is going and doing their thing. And Genji is kind of the inverse thing here. We're seeing the safe picks being banned away from the very aggressive gillyShark draft, and the aggressive pick banned away from the pretty safe Can't Pause Won't Pause draft. And thank you, Gold Gorgon, for the sub. I don't have my Streamlabs stuff on during the cast, just so it isn't disrupting, but I appreciate it. Alright, Anduin Falstad. So we've got a very squishy, kind of diveable backline, but a lot of maneuverability and a lot of potential for big plays between the Anduin, the Junkrat, the Falstad. All three of those heroes can be a little bit vulnerable, but can also carry, especially, Falstad late game. Alright, so instead of going for a ranged bot anchor, we're going to see maybe the Thrall. Thrall could also end up top. Really, whoever you want to put against the Dahaka can go up there, and the other can be bot. Leo and Thrall, both solid anchors. So 1-3-1, you're going to see the 3-man of Lucio, Greymane, and Muradin running around, hoping to find somebody to unalive, while the Thrall and Leoric try and play it safe. I guess Thrall can be a bit more aggro, and ETC will be the pick for tank here from Can't Pause Won't Pause. Can be really solid. My perception of ETC, I'll admit, is a little bit skewed because I've seen a lot of crowd surf for ETC lately, and it can be really scary in the right hands. But even normal ETC, there's so much that he offers in terms of peel and in terms of pick pressure, and again, another hero who has a big playmaking ult. So we will see how our teams play this. The global is obviously going to be a big factor with Falstad. That can put a bunch of pressure on Thrall, who's going to be trying to hold a lane on his own. But a lot of, the 3-man gank squad from gillyShark can also put in a lot of work. really like both drafts. Nothing too crazy so far, which is interesting. But we're going to go ahead and get on into it.
For the horde.
Set everything up there. Alright, on our left side here, gillyShark at Bingo Night. Oh, hold on, let me turn off the chat. Oh, no, I pressed the wrong button. Whatever. You get to see chat. There we go. Alright, left side. It's been a while, okay? It's been a while. I've done one cast this season. Last cast before that was 5 seasons ago. We've got Chest Looter on Leoric, Iron on Lucio, Schumann on Murden, Stark on Thrall, and Ekeeb playing the Grey Mane. On the side of Can't Pause, Won't Pause, Silent Shoe, Falstead, Waterlong, Junkrat, My Pal Shade on Anduin, Arbuckle on Dahaka, and Cubico on the ETC. Let's see here. Anything interesting from level 1? We are going to see Echo of the Elements from Thrall, so he's just looking to sustain in lane. Poke as well with that. Tongue going to be missed, so I'm not expecting too much to happen. Level 1 here. Lots of damage actually being put on the Chest Looter. That's what ETC does, right? He slides on people, and then he boops them, and a lot of the time, that's all you need for a kill. It's not quite as simple as Taunt variant, but it has the benefit of, you know, Power Slide hits as many people as you hit. We are going to see Fealty Unto Death here for Leo. That's going to be a talent looking to double soak, or, you know, just sustain in the lane. Thinks he's going to get more from the minion deaths than from one of his other options there, and he's not too worried about ganks. Otherwise, you might see the Zoom's Renewal, I believe it's called. Schumann jumps over the wall to try and hit Junkrat. Junkrat boops him, and Junkrat himself back over as a very quick camp rotation here from Can't Pause, Won't Pause. We are going to see a quick camp rotation from gillyShark as well, as they're going for both camps at once. Can be a little bit greedy, but can also pay off a lot if the other team isn't quite prepared. And you're going to see they might be able to get down here. They're actually getting stopped a little bit by Cubico, distracted. So the Siege Giants are going to put some damage onto bottom. A nice boop from Lucio. Put those in. Meanwhile, at top lane, looks like Marbuckle going to get a very nice tongue. That's the scary thing about laning against a Dahaka, is he can always just, you know, if he lands a tongue into towers, that's half your health always. There's not much you can do against that. Alright, we are going to see, and there's another boop for Hero, and the Falstad flying up. That's the value of the Global First Blood for Can't Pause, Won't Pause. Excellent fly there. Also going to allow them to clear out this Bruiser camp nice and quickly. Alrighty. Waterlong is playing it pretty safe. This trap, the mine, going to enable him to step up onto the point. As the nice thing here about Leoric dying is it's fake. He just comes back. And it looks like it did already get chunked up, but with the help of Lucio and Greymane, going to be able to clear the bruisers out nice and quickly. And there's that other global coming right back in after backing for some health. And it's going to be 3v3. Oh, Cubico's thinking about something. He's looking for a slide. Going to get scouted out by the Lucio. And that's actually going to be both caps for our blue team here. Going to force some red team heroes to the middle. We're going to have a little bit of a fight, but neither DPS or Can't Pause, Won't Pause. So I'm a little bit concerned about their ability to win this here. You know, Dahaka and ETC aren't exactly slouches, but neither of them is going to be able to, I think, put in enough kill pressure. Stark fighting against the Junkrat is going to lose bot for the moment. Ooh, as we're going to have ETC come in, and this might be the end of Thrall. And they get the DK for it, so he's saying, you know what? Be too upset about that. But again, another kill. Rotation so far, perhaps thanks to the globals, are working out really well for Can't Pause, Won't Pause. And an early DK is not able to do too much. You can see already down to a third health, and he only got the tower, basically. He's going to look for probably about the same. Oh! No field goal tonight. Or at least not yet. Sometimes you see the kick into the towers, but it's pretty rare. Iron gonna get out of dodge with a nice speed boost there. This Cubico gets caught by a root, but he's fine. Has a nice boop. And there's another boop. And this is something that's always fun when you have these heroes like Junkrat and ETC. They can either work together really well and just be super annoying with all that displacement, or sometimes you end up booping the wrong way because your teammate boops them first, and we'll see how that goes. I don't expect too much anti-synergy here tonight, as we're going to see a 5-man invade. Leo face checks the bush, going to get eaten alive. And that's going to be the Siege Giants stolen. Not too much of a loss, but, you know, taking that off the board when you are already the team that has the globals that's able to put on the macro pressure is really going to help you kind of snowball things, do more with the camps that you have, as our bruisers are coming back here shortly. And we're going to see Camp Pause Won't Pause on their Siege. Quick check on our talents. We do have Echo of the Elements done. 13 out of 20 on the Prog Rock for ETC, getting some healing there once he finishes that. 3 stacks already on the Piercing Light, not too shabby for Anduin. That's a bit of bonus spell power. And of course the Pierce itself is always nice. You know, you never know when a little bit of extra CC is going to help out. All said, going for the auto attack build here with Frequent Flyer and Secret Weapon, so he can do a lot of single target damage, which is really useful in the mid-late game as Siege. Ooh, level 10s coming in, and the Gust and the Mosh, that's going to be Thrall going down. Lucio almost fell as well as he got pushed into the Mosh by that Gust, but just going to live, and Maymain is in the area, but they're gonna at least, I think, lose the front wall here. Ooh, nice Storm Bolt. Nope, not gonna get anything in Iron. See, that's the auto attack damage from Falstad. You see how much Silent Shoe was able to drop him so quickly. And this is the power of having those globals. They're just keeping the rotations up. Flying pressure constantly. Now, flying top. Chest Looter, I don't think he's gonna be able to get out of this. In the bot lane now, it is a 4v3 in favor of gillyShark, but the longer that they stay here, the more XP they're going to lose. And let's actually take a look at XP, as there's a nice hero experience lead for the red team here, which is basically making up for any minion soak that they have missed out on. Ooh, the Sundering interrupting the tongue after it hits. And that's a well-timed bubble from the Anduin, holding it until the CC comes out. Pretty much nothing gained here from either side, except for the fact that Leo wasn't soaking the whole time that he was dead there, and that means that the cap was gotten by the red team. Leo able to at least neutralize top for a second, but he's going to need to soak, so we're going to see another fight here bottom. And this is one thing that I think, as Leo not able to get mid fast enough, I think Dahaka probably globaled for that, and so that's going to be a DK for the red team. But I was going to say, I think the blue team likes team fighting maybe a little bit more in this early phase of the game, but not at the cost of the DK. Nice high five there to stop the kick. That's going to allow Ekeeb to keep up his damage, but up here in the top lane, Silent Shoe putting in work. And in the bottom lane, the 3-man caught Thrall out. That is the one weakness he has. He's great at dueling. He's got some good poke. He's got some good burst. It's okay wave clear, but really, main weakness, especially as an offlaner, is just how easy he is to gank. And Cubico always positioning very aggro here. He does have the mosh pit up, so we might see that come out. He's trying to stay out of vision, wait for the other team to clump. Ooh, just misses the Lucio. Nice attempt there as the Entomb, Bullet, Contagion, or not Contagion, Isolation. Not quite there. Getting ahead of myself. Everything comes out, nothing happens. It happens. It happens sometimes. You miss. Oh gosh, these high fives. Oh, and the haymaker onto Anduin. That's like I said, when this kind of backline gets put in a scary spot, it is scary, but a great gust. That's part of... Even before 20, that ability is just so insane because of the peel it gives you. It's just able to set up and disengage fights incredibly well. And now we've got a 5v4 here. Tongue onto Greymane, able to get the high five, jump on out. I don't think we're going to see much happen here since the ults are pretty much all used. But, I mean, with the globals on your team, that's a cost you're always willing to pay because it's, you know, you have cooldowns, use them, right? Press your globals, come, try and get a fight. You're not going to miss out on too much soak. And if you win the fight, you can snowball super hard. Alright, we'll do a quick talent check again. I need to remember to check how to swap these at the end of the game so that they're facing the right way. It always bugs me that this odd observer has the talents going right to left on the red team. But 20 stacks for frequent flyer, pretty good. Oh, Junkrat caught out by Muradin and Thrall here in the bottom lane. Check the Haymaker cooldown. Sure enough, got caught by the Playmaker, as they say. Nothing too weird here on the talents. Leo getting beat up in top lane again. This is what it feels like to offlane against the globals, right? You're just gonna get bullied, and gillyShark trying to make the best of it by doing some stuff bottom, but I would expect with Dahaka digging down and Falstad pushing top, probably gonna be just another favorable macro trade here for the side of Can't Pause Won't Pause, as now Lucio caught by the power slide, caught by the tongue, caught by the mosh. No way. Okay, I was gonna say it was a really good interrupt from Schumann, able to land that onto both the Haka and the ETC, but so much damage was already done, and that is another really important fight for Can't Pause Won't Pause. Finding the CC on the Lucio, that's the person you need to hit because he's the one saving them from most of these fights that start off so hard for them. That's gonna get them a DK again. Leo's gonna fall in top lane. Like I said, a single target damage from Falstad. That burst, especially when you don't have the burst healing from Ossian's Renewal for the fealty unto death. Like I said at the start of the game, pretty susceptible to single target damage and to, well, I should say to heroes who can trade into you well, and pretty susceptible against ganks. That's going to be a double fort in both of the altar lanes. So both of these are now super favorable positions for Can't Pause Won't Pause. They're going to be pretty happy with this position on the map because now it is entirely up to gillyShark to try and make something happen. And try to make something happen. They are going heavy for my pal Shade, but Riptire, some face melts, going to be enough to peel and secure now the third and final fort. DK's gonna die here. I don't think Dahaka's too worried about his positioning. Maybe he should be. Ooh, but with that mosh, no, I think he's just fine. That is a huge mosh. Iron on the Lucio going to fall again. That's the one thing about mosh is, you know, if you don't get the high five before it, you can't save someone from it. And Stark gonna fall as well here. He's just trying to drag the other team away. Stall for a little bit of time. Ooh, as Muradin got caught. Maybe some boops there, interrupting a jump potentially. And this is going to be, I think, at least bot keep wall, but with 2 people dead for 40 seconds, likely the keep. And that is your win condition, right? Now, only takes one. Only takes one, and map 1 might be going to Can't Pause Won't Pause. Not too much left to do here for gillyShark, except hope they can hold on, because level 20 is also just around the corner here, and taking a fight down 20s, especially against heroes like the ETC, like the Falstad, who have some pretty devastating 20s. Dahaka with Contagion as well. You know, their best option is to look for ganks, look for a kill on the Dahaka. If the Falstad goes on his own, maybe look for that, but I think Yeah, you can see how bloodthirsty the red team is there. Lucky root from Stark, able to save Iron on the Lucio, but Cubico was looking for it. And we are going to see Can't Pause, Won't Pause. Just step up, look for any CC that they can, because with the 20 advantage, I mean, they're not worried about anything going wrong. Falstad just presses Wind Tunnel if something goes wrong, and no worries. But if they're able to get something, they win the game. And so they're just going to take everything they can. Dahaka walking for top. Junkrat walking for bottom with his... Well, both DPS are racing for bottom. Junkrat got there first. We're going to see who gets in the DK. Looks like they're waiting to have Falstad or Dahaka in, it looks like. And they might just try and walk this in. The DK isn't as strong as it used to be. I will say that. So a end like this isn't as easy as it used to be. You would need to find some pretty meaningful kills or pressure. So it looks like they might just look for a keep here, but Cubico gonna have to use his blink as a playmaker, haymaker, pushes him over the wall. Sundering got used as well there just to try and prevent the save from Anduin. We did go for the Light of Stormwind, which is pretty much unparalleled healing if that doesn't get interrupted. Every 20 seconds, you're basically gonna full heal your team. It's insane. And, you know, the invulnerable, meaningful because it cleanses now, as opposed to when it's just protected at level 10. Also prevents, you know, it'll break Leo's drain, so he won't be getting the healing there. You know, there's a lot of advantages to, as we're gonna see another haymaker. Pull this time is the answer, and it's gonna be a second keep falling. Level 20 just around the corner for gillyShark, but they're gonna have to really find some big team fight wins here, I think, to make something happen on this map. Either that or just find continuous staggered kills, because they are down to their last keep, and now the map pressure on its own would be pretty rough. But there's, you know, 2 globals and a pseudo global with Junkrat on the side of Can't Pause, Won't Pause. So I think it speaks for itself. The macro situation is desperate for gillyShark. Cubico, though, stepping out. We're going to see the Sundering, we're going to see the bullet. Ooh, the root misses. There's the mosh, but we did see Schumann just waiting for it, and you know, that's kind of the worst thing that can happen right now for the side of Can't Pause, Won't Pause. That being said, they still have a lot at play here, and they put a lot of damage onto Schumann, and with just one member down, you can still absolutely play the map with, I mean, like I said, 2 globals and a pseudo global left still. Ooh, okay, a good split by the, oh my word. See, alright. I'm gonna get on my soapbox here. One moment, let me put the soapbox on the floor, step on top of it. I hate Sundering's 20. The terrain, World Breaker, so annoying. It, I mean, the cooldown reduction is great, and I don't want to flame the pick, I don't want to flame the player. I think it's totally a fine option to pick. But you can see right there how the terrain it makes can kind of confuse and hurt your own team just as much as the enemy team. It basically set up a wall for the wind tunnel there. So Lucio, you know, if the wall wasn't there, he gets gusted straight down, he walks out. But because the wall was there, he gets caught in the middle of the wind tunnel, and even once the wall's gone, now he's, you know, in the middle of it where he's getting hit by those repeated ticks. And now that's a DK, down 2. I'd say this is game. I'm not expecting there's always the chance of a miraculous end here. Chess seeing if the... He's like, you know, I don't know if this Entomb will stop the DK, but it will not. It's not real terrain, it's fake terrain. And with the Katos already taking out the shield and a bunch of the life there, that is going to be game number 1. Going the way of Can't Pause, Won't Pause. Alright. I think unfortunately we're probably just going to have to deal with the talents at the bottom being reversed. We'll see. Maybe the players will want to take a bathroom break and I can jump in a custom real quick and find out what the hotkey is for that. But, I mean, the stats speak for themselves. This is the pressure that the globals put. I mean, Leo, 5 deaths, Thrall, 6 deaths. Normally those solo laners are the people who you want to die the least. But they were constantly pressured. I mean, ETC, a great tank for getting those ganks as well. And when you have the melees playing into Junkrat, you have to step up to try and contest that point. So, really not a situation that I envy for the offlaners on gillyShark. I don't think either draft was bad. I think the execution, though, for it was definitely there from Can't Pause Won't Pause on the ganks. That was where it made the difference so far. On map number 1. Alrighty. We should have a lobby here shortly. I'm going to try and figure out really quickly. We're just going to jump into a replay. Let one, gotta check something. Alright, I'm just going to try and figure out really quickly if there's a hotkey so I can fix that talent panel. So gillyShark, since they lost game number 1, of course, will be able to choose if they want first pick or second pick, map pick. Not many maps similar to Dragonshire in this game. There's things that have elements of it, for sure, but really it's mostly just Dragonshire has that unique combination. Towers of Doom is maybe the closest, but I don't think you have quite as oppressive pressure with that kind of comp matchup. So I would not expect a repeat of that game is really the short version of what I'm saying. This is a best of 5 lard. So we are going to see at least 2 more maps. Alright, I'm not able to find it. We're just gonna work with what we've got. I got a whisper during draft. Any noob bands. Oh, man. Okay, so I have received confirmation that it will be Can't Pause Won't Pause's map pick. So, gillyShark, they looked at the maps that are left. They're like, okay, Alterac, Cursed Hollow, Garden, Vernal Shrines, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Towers of Doom. We don't care particularly for any one of those more than the other. So we just want to make sure we have first pick. We want to make sure that we're able to get the heroes that we want, because there are some contested picks between these two teams, right? There's always going to be the meta contested picks, always. But, you know, if you can get a better draft, I mean, Dragonshire is one of the few maps where having that later pick can actually help as well. I don't know that it did specifically that game. I think both drafts were pretty standard, nothing too crazy there. Globals just got away from gillyShark. And, oh, that was Lucio's first loss for gillyShark this season. Man. Pour one out for the Brazilian DJ. His win rate has decreased from, 100% to 93%, 92% or something. We will see, though, as it looks like we have a lobby. Alright, alright. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Alterac pass for game number 2. I'm a fan of Alterac. It's not the most complex map. There's some stuff that is absolutely pretty flowcharty about it. Camp is up. Go do the camp. Camp is insanely powerful. You know, it's 3 basically of the siege camp minions from Braxis or Warhead. Except they also have a much lower cooldown, minute and a half. So you get 2 out before the first objective if you're fast with it, which the amount of pressure that can put up is ridiculous. I have seen so many games on this map that are won because the team takes that camp off cooldown and they get mid fort because the armor reduction is insane. And if you're able to pull the other team even just far enough away, just to the camps, that being the objective, the raider camps, that they burn through buildings, especially when they have a minion wave. Because turns out being able to reduce the armor of buildings is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. It's also a double boss map. I love double boss maps. So much fun stuff you can do on a map with 2 bosses. A lot of the time on this map, you do see bosses just get traded since they are as far away from each other as they can be. But you also see some fun fights over those boss pits. Lots of walls and chokes, which make them very destructive. But yeah, I'll always look forward to Alterac Pass. It's not the most flashy map, but it's fun. And games generally tend to go long enough for things to get explosive because of the core mechanic where it regenerates its health. Instead of having shielding, it has armor, which is reduced by each keep you take. Very, very rare to see the game end with only 1 keep down, so very, very rare to see the game end for level 20, which does mean you can do some fun level 20 drafts, but also can be a bit snowbally. So what I'm saying is you shouldn't bother listening to me because there's too much that goes on this map. Anything can work. Alrighty. First pick, what are you looking to ban? If you don't want to pick Hogger, Hogger's always a fair ban. He does the camp the fastest, I think. Junkrat does it extremely fast as well. Also a great point guard for the objective. So I'm not surprised they got rid of that after last game. They tried controlling points against him and were miserable, so they said, never again. We will not do that. Dahaka banned away this time. Not my favorite map for him. The one thing that is unfortunate is there are like very, very few bushes on this map, so Dahaka, not as strong of a global. Whitemane stays banned. They don't want to see it. They don't want to play against it. I don't blame them. I've played against good Whitemane players, and it makes me want to never see that hero played again. And what's our last ban going to be? Anything they thought was meaningful last game? Nope. They say Puddle OP. Get rid of that. Low Blow OP. Pustules OP. And Johanna, who was banned in place of the Junkrat last time, is going to be the one banned out. Noob is still up. He was the other different ban last game. And he is very solid on this map. With his beetles, he can sneak the cap at any given point, which, not only does it, get you a few seconds, but it makes the other team freak out. They totally panic. But there's the Hogger and the Anduin. Anduin was great last game. I can think of, one haymaker that caught him out, but for the most part, he was always positioning very well, able to get pulls when needed, but never putting himself in a dangerous spot. And like I said, Hogger do camp, good. Need I say more? Ooh, speaking of not just heroes who were left out of last game, but players, Miller Coffee, actually, I just noticed, is in this game, swapped out with Schumann, it looks like. And he's going to play the Chromie. So, solid wave clear. Lots of burst, sand falling from the sky, shooting out of her fingertips. Both ults, very scary to play into. And they come early. And of course the Lucio again. Iron's like, one loss, no biggie. I lose more ARAMs on Lucio. Blaze is going to be the off-lane ban, so he's another one who can do the camp pretty quickly after level 4. But generally just very bulky, really good at poking to deny caps, or deny recaps when you have taken the objective. Greymane, going to be the ban here from gillyShark. So getting rid of some double dog synergy. Everyone knows the more dogs you have on your team, the more powerful your dogs are. If you get Hogger, Rhaegar, and Greymane, you kind of just win. That's the law. Instead of a dog, though, we're going to see something that I saw a little bit in my scouting before this. Main tank Chen. He's going to share some alcohol with his friends. He's going to turn into a barrel, maybe. Probably. He might turn into some men. That's also possible. But really, it's fun. He's kind of like Haymaker Muradin, kind of, but also he supports his team. He's also really hard to kill. Ming, the other pick, and with that stuff seen, they're gonna like, okay, Greymane's gone. Ming's not that great. We'll pick Tychus away, and boom, Deathwing, unstoppable. Doesn't care about your keg. Also makes some big puddles, very hard to deal with. I mean, between the puddles and the sand from Chromie and Deathwing, I don't ever want to fight over objective. The floor is lava sand. It's just toxic. And so we're going to see the fall set again. I mean, it was incredibly played last game. Great ganks. Won lots of important trades that let him, do a lot of siege damage or take position on the map. And so really, both teams here, I mean, pretty similar actually to last game overall. I think like the Hogger and Falstad playing more to the macro for Can't Pause Won't Pause. And on the side of gillyShark at Bingo Night, they've got a solid comp for just fighting and protecting the objective. And if they can make sure that that's where the focus is in the game and, don't get main tank chend, hey, who knows? Might pop off. And Concept in the chat loves the Deathwing pick. As one might expect, as Concept is, of course, something of a aficionado on the hero. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump in here. On our left team, let me move this so that it's not getting in the way of the names. We've got Chess Looter on Tychus, Stark on Johanna, Ekeb on Deathwing, Iron on Lucio, and Miller Coffee coming in on the Chromie for gillyShark at Bingo Night, looking to even it up. And on the right side for Can't Pause Won't Pause, looking to turn this game into, or looking to turn this set to a match point with a 2-0 lead. Silent Shoe on Falstad, My Pal Shade on Anduin, Marbuckle on Hogger, Waterlong Wei Ming, and Cubico playing the main tank, well, eventually, Chen. That is Can't Pause Won't Pause. And this is about what I would expect. Like I said, right now, especially early on, Chen doesn't offer much. He needs 10. He needs, I would argue, to get to... Ooh, I'm going to show my lack of Chen knowledge. I'm fairly certain 13 is when he's going to get enough to share, and then he's really going to make his team very hard to kill. Ooh, big. I saw that. I saw the 3 magic missiles. I saw that Waterlong. Putting the damage on the Lucio. Once he gets there, he's going to offer a lot to his team. Right now, he just wants to get drunk and throw alcohol at people and then light them on fire. Ugh. And as you would expect, Hogger. I mean, look at this guy go. And look in different angles too. He is so good at beating up his own kind. And he was right there at 1 minute. And you can see they're going to get a 10, maybe even closer to 15-second lead on the camp here. Now, both TPS as well as Johanna. Oh, nope. Tychus going back bot. Chromie and Johanna, pretty good wave clear. I don't expect too much to happen here, especially since the minion wave did get cleared out first. But, I mean, the important thing, let's look. 1 minute. Yeah, so about 12, 13 seconds in between caps. If they keep that tempo up, that's 20-something seconds for the second one, which means that gillyShark might not be able to get their second one out. Objective might be up by that point. Or, they do get it out, but the red team is hitting the wall while the red team is channeling the objective. That being said, much more successful push with the camp here. This is the one thing I find kind of balances out the tempo of picking the camp is sometimes the team that gets the camp first, they don't get much with their push because the other team gets theirs a little bit later, catches it about here, the towers help clear it, and then the other team, the red team here in this case, leaves. They're like, alright, our camp didn't do much, and they forget that there's still a blue camp, and what can I say, man? Minus armor on buildings. Heck of a drug. Alright. So far, we are going to see a bit of a mage wing here, but with draconic might, so trying to avoid being bursted down, which, you know, makes sense against Li Ming, even against the Falstad. He will have some percent damage later on. Ooh, Miller, look out! Here comes everybody. Always got to be a little bit careful there on Chromie. You are flat-footed. But otherwise, I mean, hey, talents are what I would expect mostly. Grenade build for Tychus, not too unusual. Let's see, what's the difference? Oh, and see, there's that advantage. They were able to get out their second camp and go cap the objective. So, you know, ooh, and Hogger actually found an infinite here that's going to let him keep interrupting that. I didn't even know that tech. That is, that's actually pretty cool. So they might just get this because Hogger's going to keep interrupting it, but a huge team fight now. Chess Leader taking a lot of damage on the Tychus. Stark is trying to channel it, but they're down people because of the fact that they're trying to channel it. Luckily, budget slowing stands there from Deathwing, going to buy them enough space with the Falstad already being out here, and ooh, my Pal Shade actually, ooh, see, like I said, Anduin, you don't want to get caught. Speaking of flat feet, so, hey, like I said, the earlier camp capture, they lost some structures mid, but they were able to get almost the entire objective. Now, if they're able to poke these dudes down, then that objective is pretty much as good as theirs, unless gillyShark is able to force something. And, you know, when you're the team playing against the global, and behind on the camp tempo, forcing something can be pretty hard. Level 8, gonna help out with that. We have the first ult in Slowing Sands for Chromie. So, really just trying to make the floor as toxic as possible. Make the red team never want to walk over here. Unfortunately, the red team has walked over here, if you're a fan of gillyShark. One thing that I did just hear that is of note, as the first objective is going to go to our red team, is we do have Seeker looking to kill the Deathwing. Land all the Qs, and big payoff here for the camp tempo for the red team. Like I said, it can really play a huge role, and this is going to get them to that point in the game where main tank Chen starts to do a bit more. Main question for them is going to be how much can they do in terms of siege. They've already weakened up some towers in pretty much every lane. Ooh! That being said, with a kill onto Li Ming that I missed, my sincerest apologies. I don't think we're going to see too much here, more than maybe like mid walls. Well, walls. Front walls. That's the word I was looking for. Falling on the side of gillyShark at Bingo Night. Really well-timed kill to just help relieve some of the pressure. So don't have to worry too much about a snowball. Level 10's in for everyone. Blessed Shield did get popped, didn't connect with anything. Looking at the ults, we do have Disintegrate. And it is going to be the Panda Pals. We're going to see 3 men instead of a barrel. So he's going to look to try and blow up. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Lucio. Could also be the Chromie. Really, you look at that root. If you're able to get it off, you do so much damage, and set up for, you know, just a hammering, some magic missiles. That should be enough to kill a backliner. You also have the Loot Horde, or sorry, the Hordapult. Look, I'm tired, man. I actually play that hero. That, I haven't seen it with a Light Bomb, but with a Light Bomb, that could be a pretty fun combo. I'm excited to see that. I hope I see a Hordapult Light Bomb shortly. I am waiting. As right now, my pal Shade, a little bit too far in on the Lucio. Not on the Lucio, on the Anduin. Lucio, ooh, Iron might be a bit too far in on that, though. And there's, you know, a little bit easier to land Blessed Shield than it was, you know, the Stormbolts last game. A little bit more immediate kill pressure to follow it up with the Chromie. And that's going to be another well-timed kill. These picks have really been helping to keep gillyShark and Bingo Knight in the game, but Seeker going to get the first kill for Can't Pause Won't Pause right on back. And that's going to be a quick, easy clear. All of the pressure that gillyShark just had relieved. Can't Pause Won't Pause says, alright, they're gonna set up here. At this point, they're pretty much an entire rotation ahead on the camp. They got the one extra one out. And, or maybe not, because I guess they probably got equalized by the objective. But anyway, they are faster on the camp. You can see Marbuckle's already spinning as it's spawning. Good timing. Meanwhile, Cubico's gonna try and beat up some monkeys. These, of course, being men, but same difference. And the map pressure really is what it's all been about for Can't Pause Won't Pause. Ooh, Cubico eating some sand to go with his beverage of choice. As ooh, Marbuckle gets caught by the time trap. That's also that's always scary against a good Chromie. Is you never know when you're just gonna get stopped and you thought you were safe, but it turns out you were not safe. And ooh, Iron barely able to get away there from the Hortapult. Lots burned. Miller Coffee also getting low. Iron's gonna risk it all to save his teammate as the stall from the Deathwing with the Skyfall is a little bit late. That's part of what makes Deathwing so strong in this map, is his ability to stall. But if he's not able to get there in time, ooh, we're gonna see My Pal Shade unfortunately get caught by the Subdue there. Very well timed ult from Cubico. Should save the Chen at least. Maybe? The baby pandas are getting low. He's gonna still have the jump. Luckily, the air, or wind? Storm, wind, and fire? Wait, what is it called? Storm, earth, fire. Oh, so storm. Oh, storm, duh. The storm one, is the lightning one, actually. So I don't know which one's the jump. He had the jump. That's what's important. Able to get out of there. And top fort, in the meanwhile, like I said last game, auto attack Falstad. He doesn't mess with heroes. He also doesn't mess with buildings. You leave him alone in a lane for 1 second and your fort's gone. Easy as that. This is, I just love the Falstad play so far from Can't Pause Won't Pause. Really excellent global pressure both games so far, and that's going to be something that, you know, they might have to consider in bans in the next game if you're gillyShark, which is rough when you already have that white main that you are dedicated to banning. Lucio, since the monkeys were dead over here, just came over. He's like, yeah, I'll get some time. I'm annoying. They can't really catch me. I'll do some boops. Does have to be careful, though. Ooh, as the light bomb catches him, and that might be it for Lucio. Yeah, that is going to be it for Lucio. Falstad barely lives thanks to some well-timed heals and a well-timed gust. And the counter kill is not there. Mid lane pushing. It's kind of pushing both ways, but looking better for Can't Pause Won't Pause at the moment. And this is, again, I just love the way that they're playing the map, and they're doing a good job of punishing the Lucio that, you know, maybe he's gotten a little bit overconfident with that undefeated regular season. So, ooh, really clutch stalls there from Stark. Able to put on the pressure, force the red team back. Falstad is up top, pushing the lane in. But it looks like with Lucio respawning, gillyShark saying, okay, look, we realize we're going to bleed to death if we keep trying to play this macro game. We just need to find kills. We need to get the objective. You know, grab the soak since we're down 16 at the moment. And I'll go ahead and pull up those talents. But, ooh, Falstad flying in. Stark got found. Gonna use the Bless just to try and peel for himself. and will be able to get away, but ooh, now the Panda Pals, now the Light Bomb Chromie is caught out next. Good unstop from Iron. Oh, but a 3-man root from the jump from Cubico. Big fear from Ekeep. He's in the middle of the enemy team, and this is just chaos everywhere. All ults getting used. Sand, fire, magic missiles, and it's going to be Chromie who falls. With that, we're going to see objective number 2 almost certainly going the way of Can't Pause, Won't Pause. I mean, they took the positioning there, which I think is what was really important. They were able to force gillyShark down into this choke, make sure that they were spread out here so that they're not eating spread damage from the Chromie and the Tychus, and that's what really allowed them, I think, to eke out the win in the very, very close team fight there. And already, Seeker and Auto Attack Falstad, this is something that's also really, really scary when you're playing against comps like this. Is, you know, they get all of that single target damage, and that works on buildings too. And so not only is it, you know, you lose someone in the fight, you lose a building really fast. And so this is, I imagine, going to be it's a random magic missile, finds Stark hiding in the bush, and finds most of his health bar as well. Nice move from Iron. This is going to be front walls on the keeps, and, you know, the last fort down almost certainly. As there's a spin light bomb. Not the Portapult light bomb I requested. I don't know how Lucio got there. Or not Lucio. That's the second time I said that. I don't know how Anduin got there. Unfortunately, I think he was maybe a little bit too excited following his teammates, saw what was happening and wanted to make sure he was there to follow up and get the pulls. And unfortunately, I mean, like I said, you got to be careful what chokes you're getting caught in, because that was enough for gillyShark to take out Anduin and put out a lot of the fires, make sure that this didn't end up any worse. They really didn't even lose most of their walls. Only really top took that much damage. So, lost a fort. Not too much of a problem. It's really not even been the objectives, it seems, that they've been struggling with. As Stark going to check this, and he is going to force the red team back. That's a nice fake there. You know, it's worth checking sometimes, even if you don't know that you can, or you know that you can't contest it if they're on it, because the other team doesn't know that, right? And so that boss could have been safely Can't Pause, Won't Pause. They're going to play it safe, though, and when you're ahead, playing it safe is alright. It's up to the other team to make something happen, and so making sure you're denying those opportunities is big. As, ooh, fun talent here, as I'm pressing the wrong one. We're going to get the 20 in for Chromie, and it's unraveling, so we're going to see minus armor on the slowing sands, really just trying to make people disappear, do some magic tricks like Li Ming has been doing. Forcing the team fight is gillyShark at Bingo Night, but, oh, not working out so well. Panda Pals coming out as Cubico keeps his team alive. Ekeep using the fear. Falstad flying behind, maybe looking for a YouTube gust, get the big play. And both teams are going to get out unscathed. Well, I say unscathed, but the fight is continuing, and in the mid lane, watch your mini-map. Ooh, as Tychus is dying, so is the mid-keep, as gillyShark at Bingo Night is having that siege camp pushing in against them. Taken, you know, a minute ago. And, oh, this is a rough team fight. The gust was great. You know, against the wall, you're basically stunning them there for a second, and then the slow afterward as well really just destroys a retreat for the other team. And the macro pressure. It's a great play so far on the Falstad, especially, but in general, the macro decision making has been killer for Can't Pause, Won't Pause. Augur wants this camp, but so does Stark on the Johanna. He might pay for it with his life, though, and indeed he will. Gets caught by the body blocks there. That's honestly maybe Chen's greatest asset, is his nice big hitbox to block all these corridors after he jumps over people. Alright, level 20 has been reached for our red team. pretty much what you would expect. We do have, interestingly enough, Inner Fire and Temporal Flux going for some ult upgrades you don't really see that often. Actually, even the Elemental Conduit giving extra health and ability. Basically, normally, Storm, Earth, and Fire, only your third ability that you use gets like an extra additional upgrade basically to it. It does more. With the upgrade at level 20 though, all three do, and the Panda Pals live more. The armor and the move speed on the Light Bomb for Anduin, and the huge slow on Disintegrate for the Ming. Full health boss and objective coming to core. Can the Miracle Defense happen? Or is this going to be a 2-0 lead for our red team? This is a do or die here. And one nice thing is, really, gillyShark only needs to worry about 2 lanes, and the timing is a bit staggered. I actually would have liked to see the boss stalled a little bit, because what we're going to see now is the core is just going to regenerate all that damage to full. So it's all going to be up to the objective and the red team. If they wait for that boss, they can have the objective and the boss and the red team. But I still think it's going to be really difficult for gillyShark to defend this. You can see they're stepping up. They're trying to put as much damage onto the objective as possible before it gets to the core. And this is going to be the final stand. They're going to burn away that huge wave. But now all of the ults are coming out. The Pandas are running in. You're going to see Lucio get caught. Chromie got caught. Tychus got caught. And that is going to be game number 2, going the way of Can't Pause, Won't Pause. Another excellently played macro game from them. Let's see how gillyShark responds in game 3 as the tournament life is on the line. Stats are taking their time to load. Man, so gillyShark, you know, they started off pretty well. They got some good early kills. But like I said, I mean, I feel a little bit bad patting myself on the back like this. But hey, like I said in the draft, that camp timing, getting that tempo going, can be so oppressive if your macro is just the slightest bit better than the other teams. Right? They're able to just control rotations so well. And Falstad, 139,000 siege damage, 20,000 soak almost. Put in so much work there, and that's something that is pretty rough about Deathwing in the offlane too. It can work, but his global, because of the 7 seconds that it takes for you to come down from the sky, it's more than 7 seconds. It might be 8. I don't remember the exact number. Because of the time it takes for you to come down from the sky, it's not really a full global. And his trade in the lane is wave clear even. Just, he isn't built to offlane super well, especially against an oppressive macro hero like Falstad, who, I mean, isn't even really a true offlaner. But in this case works out, because that's another thing with Deathwing. His main weakness is heroes that move while attacking you. And if you look at the ranged assassin pool, that's just about all of them. So Deathwing has a really hard time, even more so than a lot of other bruisers or offlaners playing into ranged assassins. And Falstad, able to play pretty unafraid of ganks, because unless you get caught by a blessed shield at max range, you're not too worried about it. And I don't even know that gillyShark went for ganks, because I mean, it's hard. You've got the blessed shield and that's it. And if you whiff the blessed shield, you just committed multiple people. So really solid last pick there. It's gonna be rough for gillyShark. I mean, they banned out 2 2-lane maps, which, granted, Braxis at least is another very rotational map. I would not say it is I would say it's a very heavy macro map in terms of that it relies on rotations more than just team fighting prowess. But BOE honestly might have been one they wanted, because it seems like so far team fights are the only things they're even able to. Oh, hold on. I don't want to sound mean. Both games, I think they've done a pretty good job of not letting things get away. They've kept it very close, but the thing where they're getting destroyed, just eaten away at 1% at a time. So destroyed is not a good word for it. Again, trying to not use such all dramatic words, but that's kind of what comes to your mind when you're casting, is you want to use all the big fancy words. Anyway, rambling aside, the thing that's getting them is just slowly, surely the whittling on the macro. And we're going to see a map that can really work out for you on that front, because no building's death is permanent, other than your core, obviously. And the objective doesn't snowball the game. And so, I think most of you probably will have guessed it if you've been around a little while. Another excellent competitive map, probably the favorite of most, well, maybe not the favorite, but I think maybe the map that most people would agree is the best competitive map. Towers of Doom has been the selection from Pause Wont Pause. And we're going to maybe get into that shortly here, as everyone's in the lobby. Hopefully I didn't just set something off by saying R when they asked if someone was ready. I know sometimes you see the caster say R and you don't realize that they're the caster, and you're like, all right, start. But it looks like that did not happen this time, so we're safe. Oh man, if we go into a game 4, I'm going to need to get some more to drink. I'm running low and the throat is getting a little bit raw. Like I said, second cast this season. And I was just streaming earlier today, so I've been talking a lot. But it's been a lot of fun. This has been a pleasure to watch. There's been some fun stuff from both sides, but I think the fall stat has been my favorite so far. I love a good fall stat, and it has been beautiful. I feel like I can't even talk that much about the main tank Chen last game, because it did what a normal Chen does. I feel like he didn't need to play like a tank there, because they were just executing team fights so cleanly. And you know, the light bomb, even the Hogger, that was acting as engaged just as much. Alright, Chess Looter disagrees with this map being the best competitive map. That's fine. That's fine. I can be wrong. I'm fine with that. Okay, Towers of Doom. It is a rotation-heavy map. Falstad is definitely a scary pick here. So is the Junkrat. So is the White Mane. Everything's good on this map, and that's because this map is, I think it has the best balance of macro, like the power that push has, macro in terms of rotations, the power that, you know, rotating well has, and micro, team fights, the power that has. All three of those are essential on this map. And Junkrat, I would say, is good at like 2.5. He's not the best team fighter, especially in the early game. But rotations and macro, excellent. Stukov, very, very good at team fights, good at punishing rotations. That's something that's big, and so he's going to be banned out again. Is it the White Mane now? No, it's the Anduin. Okay, so they're more willing to play against the White Mane as opposed to Anduin pressing his trait every time you think you're about to get a kill. And the Chromie is going to get banned out against Miller. Is in, let's see, Schumann is back in, so Chess Looter sitting out. That's why he's in the chat. Hey, what do you know?
There is always
Hardver says, ugh, this map. It always leads to entertaining games. Boo. Speaking of entertaining, Iron is giving up the Lucio. He says, okay, I got the message. They're punishing me. I'll play a different healer. I'll play Ariel. Ariel can still carry. She's got insane healing. She can resurrect someone or save them with the crystal. She can whip someone, beat him. Oh! I was wondering when it was going to come out. Both teams play TLB. Marbuckle going to be playing it this game. gillyShark says, yes, please. Yummy. I was hoping for some Vikings today. A nice, tasty Viking dinner. Zeratul and Falstad are both excellent Viking hunters and can both really pressure the lanes against them as well. I'm a bit surprised to see Stark on the Zeratul and Ekib on the Falstad. I would normally expect that the other way just from what I know of the players, but I mean, Whitemane doesn't have follow-up CC, which is one thing that I will nitpick. I think when you have Vikings, you want your 4-man to have a tank with CC and something with follow-up CC. It can be like a Kael'thas, but I think a lot of the time that comes from the healer. Obviously, Anduin was banned, and Stukov was banned too. So that is two of the main ones out. But, hey, the amount of healing that she gives makes your 4-man quite strong. Chess Looter loves being the off-lane, listening to his 4-man complain all game. Talking about the TLV experience there, of course, as we're going to see a noob Greymane. So this is a classic duo. Not super synergistic with the Whitemane, but what they do very well is hit buildings. Wow, even against a Noobrek Greymane, percent damage and Cocoon, it's the last game, potentially, of the season. gillyShark at Bingo Night says, bring out the Cho'Gall. Make sure if this is the last game, make sure it's a show. Oh, you'll love to see it. What's the last pick? What's the solution? What's the counter pick? It's Thrall. Alright, that's follow-up CC. I like that. That's percent damage. I like that. That's a little bit more bulk since a Noobrek, one of the squishier tanks. So, I mean, it's a battle of the cheese at this point, right? We got TLV with a comp that pushes and kills. It does the things it needs to do. On the other side, we got that. We got Zeratul and Falstad. They're going to eat some Vikings. We got Cho'Gall Ariel. You kill them, it's fine. They're coming back. You got to kill 7 people to beat us in a team fight. Which I guess that's true both ways. Both teams can potentially have 7, well, by different definitions, both teams can have 7 dudes that you got to beat in a fight. Speaking of our fight here, oh, that is not what I wanted to do, my bad. So many buttons I have to hit. I realized that my stuff was a little bit outdated coming into this. I didn't want that to be the case, but alright. The higher seed. I haven't talked about that at all since we got started. The higher seed, gillyShark, looking to reverse sweep and started off with Cho'Gall, played by Schumann and Miller Coffee. So we got Shufi, Iron on the Ariel, Stark on the Falstad, and Ekib on the Zeratul. So they did switch there. And on our other team, I can press the right buttons. We got Marbuckle on the Vikings, as well as Silent Shoe on Greymane, My Pal Shade on Thrall, Waterlong on Whitemane, and Cubico on a Noobrek, and Ekib in a dangerous spot. He said, oh, I'll defend my towers, that'll be fine. Gotta be careful, especially with the cocktail and the lightning there, almost catching him as he got pretty low. Gonna get some healing up from the Ariel. Cho'Gall's gonna come. Well, it looks like... So we're gonna see Falstad Zeratul in mid and pot against the Vikings, while Cho'Gall Ariel chases the 4-man around. And it looks like there's no interest in fighting the Cho'Gall from our red team. They're just saying, we want to kill the squishies, we want to hit buildings, we want to, I mean, with TLV, rotations are easy, because TLV is just everywhere, all the time, always. And so you just go wherever you want with your 4-man. If you don't want to deal with something, you just walk away and do something somewhere else. Now, it does come at the cost of, you basically just have 4 people on your team until like level 16-ish in team fights. But that's all you need sometimes. Because we're going to see a camp invade. Pressure onto the back line from Silent Shoe on the Grimming. Stark comes with the false head, tries to help out, but not able to get there in time. And both camps going over to our red team. I talked about how you're a little bit weaker in the early game with TLV. You're a little bit weaker in the early game with Shogal as well. He really, I mean, you want at least 10, but really he scales into like 16. That's what you are focusing on making it to. The potential chain stuns you can get there, really annoying to deal with, especially for someone like a white main. As, you know, the main thing basically here for gillyShark is going to be, don't lose the 4-man too bad, and win the offlane. Have your 2 real heroes beat up the 3 little dudes, and hopefully you scale into the late game. Something that's really big for them, I mean, I guess it's big for both teams, but in terms of scaling, I do think it's better for the blue team, is, like I said, the objective is not the most snowball-y on this map. Obviously, you get the core health. Ooh, as lots of damage being put out there. Really good combos from the chokehold. Excuse me, so sorry. As, good evasion from Stark on the false head. But anyway, what I was saying is basically blue team scales better. Falstead, Cho'Gall, Zeratul, they are super scalers. So if they can do okay, pretty even in the you know, early and mid game, they should feel pretty confident going into the late game. Is Falstad gonna try and help get this bottom objective? There is a bug in that bush. That guy. I love Anubarak. Anubarak has been my main. Well, some people would say Tyrael was my main, and I think that would be fair. But Anubarak, one of my main heroes for a long time. I like seeing him play. I don't play him so much anymore, because I played the heck out of him. But, I love the bug. Alrighty. It is going to be... Ooh. We're going to have a pause. I'm going to come to the map screen. Blow my nose real quick, so mute. Alright, thank you for bearing with me. I just wanted to, hopefully not sneeze too much more. Oh. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I kind of... Okay, here. Chat, is French toast better than pancakes? I need to... Hold up. How do I do... I need to do a poll. French toast versus pancakes. French, I gotta go fast. Oh, fudge. Alright, we're back in the game. I'll try and get this going at some point. But there was a discussion about if French toast is better than pancakes. And, like, that's important. Alright, 5-minute vote. Start poll. We need to know. The people should speak on this. I don't know who had what opinions. I can't scroll up, I think. No. But, yeah, opinions were made. I believe Waterlong said French toast was better than pancakes, and then took it back, and I think Stark agreed and then took it back. I don't know. It was a little bit confusing, but, it's a debate. Weigh in. Weigh in. It's important. These are the things we need to know. Anyway. Something less important, but still happening that I should talk about is the game. As we are getting more lag for the player, it would seem. Alright, let's look at chat. French toast by itself is better, but pancakes are more versatile, says Lardverse. True, says Sheebs. I believe that's the pronunciation. Maybe Shibes? I apologize for whichever way I butchered that. Maybe both. I love cinnamon French toast. I don't think there's much that beats that. I mean, like an actual good cinnamon roll, that beats French toast. But like a nice cinnamon French toast, it's delicious. It's delicious. Um, Pancakes, I mean, it is true that pancakes are pretty versatile. Like, you have some stuff with French toast, but pretty much anything you can do with French toast, you can do with pancakes. And I feel like you don't see French toast with like Snickers bars put in them, which is something I had one time, and it made me sick, but like in a, well, I won't say in a good way because I was sick. Like it was too much, but it was good too much until it was bad too much. Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, update. Stark, the Brit, of course, says British toast greater than French toast, though. Waterlong says all French toast greater than everything. So Waterlong is firmly team French toast. Um, I was right. Okay, so Tribes, I think was the second one I said. Good enough. Oh, okay. Iron has left the game. Hopefully we'll be back. Uh, we're restarting our routers. This is a problem I used to have. Like I would not even just when I was on gillyShark for a while, but in every team I've been on, I think other than the current team I'm on, um, every time, like not every time, but there would always be like one important game a season where in the middle of the match, my internet would just go away and I'd have to restart the router. And like it never happens other nights. It would only happen during NGS matches. All right, more chat opinions. I would gladly wrap a hot dog in a pancake, but if you do that with French toast, bleh. That's fair. That's fair. I definitely really like honestly, this might be a bit weird, but it's probably because I just love like bread. But I will just make a plain pancakes and eat them like without anything, no butter, no syrup, just a plain pancake. It is good. It's good. Sausage pancake corn dogs are fire. Is it a corn dog if it's a pancake? Because then it has to be like a corn pancake, which I guess you could do a corn pancake. So, I'm sure that's it. I'm sure someone here is listening to me a minute from now because I'm on a delay and going, this guy hasn't had corn pancakes? What is he? Okay, Silent Shoe asks an important question. If you dip bread from Britain into a mixture of egg, sugar, and cinnamon, what is that called? Is it French toast or is it British toast? Or is it British French? That last question was just added by me. They were a lot more open-ended about it. Okay, oh, interesting. So the poll in chat, we've got 2 French toast believers and 3 pancakes believers. Maybe I should have allowed rigging with channel points. I've never played for one of these teams. I don't know what you're talking about, Chess Looter. I played for a team that actually played bingo. uh, that's a joke. Pancakes won 3-2. Chat. I honestly I don't know where I stand. I love them both. I'm awful at picking favorites though. Like you ask me to pick between 2 things or 100 things, and I'll still like no matter the number, unless one is clearly superior, in my opinion. Opinion that matters, of course. Then I'll come up with I can argue for like all of them. But yeah, I think I can be happy with saying French toast, like its peak is really high. Like really good French toast, it's great. Waterlong won a game of Minesweeper. I wonder how difficult was it? Because I've won games of Minesweeper too. I've also lost games of Minesweeper. Um, but then if we're talking about pancakes, yeah, they are pretty versatile. I've seen some weird pancakes. Some in a good way, some in a less good way. Ugh. Alright. You just call it British toast. They're known to just take other people's culture. Alright. It's just in. This just in. It doesn't matter if the recipe is French toast. If it's made by the British, it's British toast. Alright. Our last player, or our lost player, rather, is rejoining the game. They're trying to make it a all-nighter for me. Luckily, I don't think I have work tomorrow, but that might change. French toast has peaked, yes. Whoa! Chat has turned on French toast. Alright, they have a BRB as well now. Unbelievable. I kind of want a BRB, but I don't have chat, so I can't tell them to wait for me. Oh well, that's fine. I'll probably take a break after this game if gillyShark, you know, takes it and we go on to a map 4. Iron has rejoined. Okay. It's just waiting on our BRB. I know you normally aren't supposed to reveal the name, but I think I revealed it like 6 different times there. Only one pause is remaining for the... I mean, I don't think the blue team has pause time. Although, I guess you could say the pause time now is taking from Can't Pause Won't Pause's timer. Alright. French toast greater than pancakes, greater than waffles. I won't argue that. I'm not a huge waffle guy. I think, I don't hate waffles. I've had some good ones, but they just don't hit the same. Alrighty. Let me see. I'm going to see if there's anything interesting that I haven't noticed. Okay, so Falstad for gillyShark is not auto build. It is Q build. We go in for blowing people up. More of a mage build. Ekeep is going his assassination build, focusing on the Seeker. Or whatever that W is called. Singularity Spike 7 is called Seeker in the Dark, so I always think of it as the Seeker. Nothing else too interesting. Okay, we are R, is what I'm hearing. I think it's ironic. Ha ha ha. That you're violating rules, thank you. This is an interesting and new build. It's playing into the aggression a lot. It's definitely a pretty old, fashioned build. E4 and 7 haven't been popular for a while, but I do like taking them every once in a while when you really feel like you just need to make solid engages on as the Anubrak. And Stark is going to run for Mama. Mama got one heal off. I don't think Mama's getting more. I don't think red team can really play this, though. Falstad's flying back in 10 seconds, so they need to find a kill in the next 10 seconds, basically. And with the CC missed, Anubrak is now in a pretty rough spot. Ooh, my pal Shade. Oh, speaking of heroes. Ooh, Marbuckle almost got the sneaky cap. Oh, and Cho'Gall actually goes... Okay, yeah, this might belong to the red team. It might belong to the blue team. This fight is so close both ways. Everyone's getting low. Level 10, though, is in for the red team, and I think that's probably going to be it. Iron able to heal himself up a little bit, but I think this channel is just going to have to go over to Can't Pause Won't Pause. And gillyShark, I mean, you just want to keep soaking. Don't fall behind on the map and on the XP, and you're okay. Because, yeah, Cho'Gall's going to die pre-level 10. That's going to happen. But once you start scaling, you got the Gust now, got the Resurrects now, you're looking pretty in fights. And then you start taking those positive objective trades, you're happy. You're happy. Alright, nothing too unique here. Whitemane does go kind of both ults, but we are going to have the Aegis here, so going for damage. Is Ariel going to DC? I don't think they're even going to pause, just because time isn't really there, unfortunately. Looks like it was maybe just a micro DC, as I hear the announcer saying welcome back. That's always unfortunate, and there's just nothing much that you can say or do in situations like that. Internet sucks sometimes. And I don't think that's going to be too fatal of a death, since we did see a little bit of a chase, and actually Vikings kind of getting farmed here. But hey, you know, sometimes stuff happens. Sometimes the biggest opponent is, ooh, I think he was trying to interrupt the play again, but it's just a bit slow. Sometimes your opponent is real life as much as it is the other team. I think they were looking for Falstad, and he just backed. He was like, wait, they're off map. I've seen this one before. They've tried it a few times. I'm just going home. Ariel wants to channel this one, but Eric being so annoying. That is the hardest part about playing against TLV on this map, is the way that they can pressure the objective, and it's so hard to stop them. He keeps going to land his W, though, and that's going to get rid of Eric. Ooh, Juman going for the pull, not going to land it, but gets a big blow up there on from Miller Coffee on his ult. Iron going to get destroyed after the cocoon, but able to resurrect himself. Will Schumann be able to protect him? Oh, that was a interesting whip. Sundering not going to land, but the team fight looks to have turned completely in favor of gillyShark as they get 2 quick kills. Ekib, though, man, red team doing so good at still looking for the opportunities even when things start off rough. This is where Cho'Gall starts to come in clutch. If you can control the TLV. That was an even objective phase because TLV was just everywhere, right? The second that gillyShark committed to one, they lost the other. Ooh, that's another thing about Cho'Gall. His ult's very low cooldown, and so you're able to get pretty quick picks. And now it's gillyShark that's playing the map with the Falstad, really making things look good. And every Viking that looks away is getting popped. So can't pause, won't pause. Don't have to worry too much. You're up 2-0, but you know, calm down. Think about okay. So the other team's scaling. It's not going to be a game that we're going to win just by playing it the way you normally would a Vikings comp, because there's just so much pressure against the Vikings. So they're going to have to start looking for other options to get into this. Or the TLV can try and build to blow up the Falstad. It's certainly possible. They're all 3 grouped together right now. They did go jump. Largen in charge probably is going to be the 13, I would expect. Gus there just to get the sappers in. Ooh, as we're going to see. Okay, sorry about that. My camera control was not great there. I was trying to see the health on that fort that barely survived. But while that was happening, we saw Falstad dying in the top lane. An attempted invade ends up with 2 people dying in the bottom lane. Things are getting crazy all over the map. But like I said, TLV can kind of blow up that Falstad at this point in the game. You have to be a little bit careful. Iron does have to be a bit careful as well. But Marbuckle not going to get the blow up there, and now that's the scary thing, is once you've grouped up your Vikings, that makes them much easier to kill. You basically just got 1 small health bar when you're playing against the AoE damage from like the cleave there from Zeratul. That's going to be all 3 Vikings down. Gus just used to keep Falstad safe. He did use his fly, so unfortunately they're not going to be able to get this with the cap for that extra shot. But gillyShark, hey, the Cho'Gall's working out. Maybe less bodies is more. No, it's not just the Cho'Gall, really. It's excellent TLV hunting and pressure put on. Ooh, there's a big pull onto the healer and the thrall there. Waterlong on the white main this game. So I guess they've been role swapping so far this series if white main from Waterlong is the normal healer. But like I was saying, Falstad putting excellent pressure as actually a 6 cap is being pressured right now as mid is taken by blue. Top is going to be taken with just one ability from Falstad. So suddenly it's a bit of a crisis for our red team. Vikings trying to run down Falstad. He'll be able to get out just fine. Kilgal not going to greed for the 6 cap. Zeratul went up to kill some Vikings. Oh, that being said, doesn't need to greed for the 6 cap. Can just look for the, what is that called? Upheaval. Get it onto the white main. Get a ton of damage. Falstad flies down, gets the Gust to save the Cho'Gall, and voila, just like that. Big Gust, big Twilight. Spreading something Twilight? I'm so sorry. Twisting Nether. That's Twilight's the other one. Oh, Stark on the Falstad got caught out by the TLV. Barely gets away. This could be game right here, though. A 6 cap plus these 3 caps, or even just 2 of the caps if they're able to hold the 6 cap. This could absolutely be game. Looks like gillyShark is not going to greed for the 3rd. Oops, Ekeep might get there in time. Ooh, and he does. That is 6 cap. Potentially all 3 caps on the objective. Yep, Stark is getting it. So we just need to see 4 more shots coming out. 3, 2, 1 more shot, and it is game over. The Gust to secure it, and that is game number 3 going to gillyShark. There will not be a 3-0. Ooh, we've got a series, folks. We've got a series. Ooh wee, that was Oh, as my Heroes of the Storm has crashed. All right, folks, I am going to reboot, and I will be back in a moment. I'm going to take a real quick restroom break, get a little bit more for myself to drink so that my throat isn't dying. I will be back in just a few minutes for game 4. All right, we've got a version mismatch. So I guess it's going to be delayed a little bit longer. Um, apparently a patch dropped in the middle of the game, or in the middle of the series. Let me let one of the captains know here. Took bio break. Hopefully need to patch. All right. That is a first. I don't know that I've ever had a patch come out or had to update in the middle of a match. All right, we do have update here. It is going to be the first time map pick from gillyShark as our red team went for first pick, and we're going to be on Infernal Shrines. Heard a voice a minute ago. That was my sister looking for me while I was taking a bio. I've got a doggo here now, though. Come here. Come here. Just for a second, buddy. All right. Doggo on stream. Come on, buddy. Look up. Oh, he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like sitting in the chair with me. Oh, let me. Oh, there we go. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Hi. Say hi. He's a little bit sleepy. He's a little bit sleepy. No, it wasn't the bug where it updates when you restart, because I actually launch I launch directly from the file, so I don't go through BattleNet. I hit accept. Let me in. All right. Whenever. So yeah, I don't know what it was, because normally I don't even need to patch, but it specifically, like, I launched the game and it said there was a version mismatch, which would seem like the game had to be patched, but I also had that, I think, last week at some point. So I don't know, maybe there is a separate bug where for some reason it thinks that there's a version mismatch where there isn't one. Oh, see the doggo emotes in chat. Alrighty. Who's our roster for gillyShark now? Still got Schumann, still got Ekeeb, still got Stark, still got Iron, still got Miller. Okay. Same 5 as last time. It's 2:43 a.m. for Stark. He says the brain is slowly oozing from my ears now. Should probably get that checked out. That doesn't sound particularly conducive to a game 4 in playoffs with your playoffs on the line. But ooh-wee. All right, folks. We'll be jumping in here any moment now. Both teams are ready. I am ready. I think any moment now. Yes, sir. Oh, is my... Oh, okay. Okay, phew! Phew! I was worried for a second there. I was like, is my game capture not working? Alright. Infernal... Oh. We're not ready. Oh, I think Iron's internet, may have poofed again, unfortunately. So... Ooh, yeah. looks like gillyShark is about as surprised at it as well. It's British brain news since it came from Britain. You're right. You're right, Lard. You're right. My pal Shade is hungry, apparently for iron. Um, they're trying to get him some, but the iron keeps running away, unfortunately. We will see if it manages to come back. I don't think anyone has said anything about any timers, so I think technically they still have 15 minutes if the red team is willing to give it, but yeah. Oh, it's man, it's always so frustrating when this stuff happens on like the most important matches. Oh man. Okay. Well, unknown players internet. Caster, please. Look. Look. The jig is up, alright? I'm not gonna I also like people could see on the stream clearly that Iron DC'd last game and I DC'd from the lobby this game. I cannot tell a lie. The people know. The word's out. It's too late. Alright, chat. What are we gonna see on Infernal Shrines? What is the queso now? We saw TLV versus Cho'Gall last game. We saw Main Tank Chen against the Deathwing. I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh, one moment. Man, it was really not wise of me to jump back into a cast while, you know, start of allergy season. And it's a best of 5. Oy, oy, oy. Alright. I'm sorry, Lard. Spoilers from 1 year in the past. 1 minute in the past. I'll try to do better. Alright, what are we seeing here? Are we seeing the Alex Straza Mephisto? One of the teams will do it, surely. It's either banned or picked. I know. They love their queso. Surely they will. They'll pull it out. I believe. Cho'Gall is banned. Now, okay. I was gonna say the morally correct thing to do would be when the Cho is banned, you ban the Gall. That being said, when we're talking NGS playoffs best of 5, morals go out the window. That's why Cho'Gall ends up getting played in the first place, actually. And the rest of the bans, I mean, gillyShark found something that they thought worked last game, so they stuck with it. Junkrat, Anwin, meh. Can't Pause Won't Pause says, well, the Stukov ban worked. We've been switching the other one up a little bit. Let's get rid of Cho'Gall. And now we'll see where it goes. Uther, first pick. So, hinting at presumably a Vala double support. That's normally what an early Uther means. But they could have something else. It could be Uther Garrosh. Look, Lard. You remember that thing I said about Alex Straza Mephisto? It's an Ariel, but, you know, hey, maybe Alex Straza will come later in the draft. I mean, I see an Uther, and I'm like, we're going to pick double support. Yeah, slam the Mephisto. Mephisto loves eating up double supports. He just does so much damage to grouped up enemy teams.
I'm not checking in.
Oh, it's Turbo Suck. Turbo Suck. Oh, baby. So, for those of the uninitiated, one of the most fun Nano Boost combos is Ana with Malthael. You can go Tormented Souls. You don't have to, but it helps you keep your marks up on everyone. And with the power of the Nano Boost and your marks on everyone, you just kind of pretend you're playing Lily. You put a rock down on your Q button. Make sure you're pressing that as hard and as fast as you can. And the entire enemy team's health bars just go away, and yours doesn't go down. For, what is it? 6-8 seconds? Look, I don't know how long Nano Boost is, sue me. It's almost 10 p.m. where I am, so Kill has been lost. Vala also lost. Johanna also lost. What are the picks here? To round it out. What's your anti Ana Malthael? Tyrael can work, Sanctification. If you don't get that works too. He can't turbo suck you if he's stuck in the belly. Or if he's stuck in the maw. Actually, Miller Coffee's maws. I've been on the receiving end of Miller Coffee's maws. They will leave you with all kinds of post-traumatic feelings. Kerrigan says, okay, I see your immobile fat backline. I'd love to jump on that. With a Medivh. This is why I picked up this match. Woo! I love these drafts. Okay. So, the red draft is going to appear on your backline with a lot of sparkles, and they're going to try and kill someone. Preferably everyone. The other team is going to try to have them not do that. By way of bunker, by way of having a big ol' maw come and eat them, by having the big ol' maw and Stitch's tummy eat them, by Ariel doing Ariel things, and then Mephisto will just clean everything else up. That's our game plans. We got team appear and kill, and the team make disappear and then kill. Because, like... Oh, that's the wrong one. Whoopsie. Because, like, Stitches and Zagara and, like, even the bunker, like, they make people disappear. And then you kill people. Whereas Medivh with the portal makes people appear. Yeah. Yeah, I got this. I'm insane. S. Looter says Miller Coffee. Nah, Killer Moffy. I'm mad at how well that works, actually. That is great. Alright, what are my buttons here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Alright. On our left team. Team Disappear, we'll say. Human on Stitches. E-Keep on Mephisto. E-Keep disappears with the Shade, too. Iron on Ariel. Miller Coffee on Zagara. Stark on Blaze. On team Up Here, also known as... Oh, I forgot to repress that. Also known as Can't Pause, Won't Pause, Marbuckle on Kerrigan, Silent Shoe on Malthael, My Pal Shade on Uther, Cubico on Medivh, and Waterlong on Ana. Roles are meaningless to this team. Everyone plays tank, everyone plays healer. And they're waiting for either Blaze or Zagara. I don't think Zagara's going up there. I think Miller would rather, well, I would say would rather die than offlane against this comp, but I think he would die either way, so, you know. Man, and, the percent damage that comes online, or really just damage in general, that comes online for gillyShark at level 16 is going to be insane. They have to get there, though, and I'll be honest, like, especially at level 10, the amount of dive, while still being pretty safe thanks to the 2.5 healers, the triple support, like, this Kerrigan and Malthael are going to have to carry, but they've got the tools available to them. And I mean, Marbuckle and Silent Shout. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I'm supposed to make that go away. I'm so sorry. Like I said, it's getting late, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. It is so scary to exist near this red team. Miller Coffee's doing his own camp, and suddenly a bunch of people appear on top of his head. It's going to be a battle of milliseconds here. Like, I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be all about reaction time. If the bunkers, the maws, the gorges can hit at the right time, gillyShark has a great opportunity. But if Can't Pause Won't Pause can just execute with the swiftness, get in, kill someone, get out fast, just like that, it's going to be a really good game for them. Either way, I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm looking forward to this. Oh, Miller. I think that was an attempted friendly hook on the Miller Coffee, but with the anti-heal grenade from Waterlong, after the sleep dart to set it up, that was a low interaction kill. Nothing Miller and co could do there. Our first Punisher is going to be a frozen one here in the middle. Well, I say in the middle. In the middle of the screen, in the bottom of the map. Both teams getting out their bruiser camps. Malthael going to be a little bit faster. Well, maybe not. Cavalry came in top. Yeah, we'll be a bit faster. Blaze pushing up an extra lane since they're down a little bit of XP. Let's take a look at talents. W build for Uther with the Holy Fire. Gonna help him reveal the creep from Zagara. Everything else I'm seeing is not too crazy. About what I expect. And when I say about what I expect, you're probably looking at Stark's talents there. You're noticing the shield at level 1. He likes it. That's his talent. He likes the oil dispersal too. He's an oily fellow. Ooh, really big Kerrigan combo. Miller Coffee gonna get dropped very low. Iron gets hit by this grenade and is not going to be able to heal himself up, but lives through it. And without Uther there, this first Punisher is going to go to gillyShark at Bingo Night. Meanwhile, though, lane's pushing pretty well in mid for our red team, while top is cleared itself out. Early Frozen Punisher can definitely do a lot. The push pressure from Zagara is going to come into play pretty big here. And this is the hard thing about playing a comp like what Can't Pause Won't Pause has, is when you're all melee and you don't have a lot of sustained single target damage outside of that Malthael, like, you're not able to get too much on the Punisher. And so you can see they lost the whole wall here and about 40% of their fort's health. And from a 4-minute Punisher, granted it's frozen, that's pretty rough. Not your favorite thing to see. Oh, I love this though. Like, even with the creep, they're just running. They're saying, you know what, if we find anyone, we'll take it. And if we don't, we just portal on out. Oh, a human reminding them that they're playing against the Stitches, though. You're never out until you're out. And Uther is, well, he's out in his own way. So far, ooh, some nice structure damage there. I'm surprised to see that. Malthael normally pretty happy laning against Blaze, but maybe this this Blaze build is a little bit confusing to him. Ooh, Cubico getting caught a little bit as Marbuckle jumps in, gets a really nice combo, and again, these anti-heals perfectly timed, but now Kerrigan gonna be caught. A little bit of baby portal, but that will be just enough to get Kerrigan out. That being said, more and more push here onto this bot fort. It is mighty low. Let's double check in. Medivh stacks were 24. Ooh, portaling into... Okay, onto the camp. 3 out of 12 for the stacks on the vial drop for Zagara. You normally don't see that finish. You just kind of pick it for the baseline range increase. And man, with just the fraction of a second of level 10. Oh, a little bit of anti-synergy there. As we're going to see the Nano Boost and the Maelstrom from Kerrigan, so not actually the Turbo Suck just yet. But it'll be... at the same time as the ley line was the anti-synergy there, but they still get 2 kills. You can't be upset with that. Oh, 3 kills, I think. Yep, the heal from Iron a little bit early. Oh, wait, is it 4 kills? Surely not. Okay. Mephisto doing Mephisto things. You can see, you know, 2 against 4. He's not afraid. He'll chunk them. But yeah, it's going to be harder as the game progresses for gillyShark to play aggressive, like they kind of have been so far. And the pick attempts are going to start getting a little bit more successful as we've got a good amount of scaling. I mean, Kerrigan's damage definitely scales into level 16. Malthael, put a nano boost on him. He doesn't need scaling. He'll kill everything and anything. Not buildings. He'll kill everyone. Good attempted hook there from Schumann. Not able to land though. Cubico doing a good job giving his team vision. As Stark is leaving oil everywhere. Just don't look at his build. I say that because he's my friend and I love him. He has an interesting build. It'll keep him alive, potentially. It's definitely a surprisingly bulky build, as we're gonna see. Ooh, a nice durance onto 2, gonna pretty much cancel out the Maelstrom and like all of the ults there. I'm a bit surprised I saw the Maelstrom and Divine Shield used there, since gillyShark was already out, and now that's multiple major ults down on the side of ooh, barely missed on the jet propulsion there. You can blame EU Ping for that. But Iron gonna get caught by the combo from Kerrigan. No anti-heal there from Ana this time. Medivh gonna get caught and eaten alive. Oh, has the portal though. He just walks away, and an insane Kerrigan combo gets 3 people, and gillyShark is on the run. They're barely able to make it towards the towers. They're all so low, but they're just getting the hooks and barely able to just catch people's toes. And that's gonna be 2 kills for them. That is, I am amazed. gillyShark was able to pull that out. They were all so low. But that's the hard thing when you have this heavy melee comp. You don't have that finishing pressure as soon as they get out of the melee range. And so this is going to be a second Punisher. This time it's a Mortar Punisher. I would say that's probably the weakest in the early and mid game. It scales incredibly well into the late game. And with the front wall down, I would expect a fort from this. But probably not expecting too much more if you're on the side of gillyShark. I like what Pause Wont Pause is doing here. You know, they lost the objective. They accept that. I wasn't sure if Malthael would go for the bottom siege there. But they're going to use the time to go ahead and get a camp, get some pressure elsewhere. Once their buttons are back up, they look for something. They don't find it, but hey, it gives them some time to be aggressive against the Punisher. And now Zagara again has been the target. Miller Coffee has to really be careful with his positioning there, because the second Kerrigan gets on top of him, it's going to be really difficult for him to get out. And Iron also getting found. Might try and resurrect himself, but I don't think he will. And that's a triple kill. Can't pause, won't pause. Just showing how, you know, you step out away from your gates as gillyShark, and you're risking your life. Even with the Punisher there, just such scary aggression when they're in the right scenario to stay on top of gillyShark. And Marbuckle's combos, I mean, I haven't been talking about this too much. Consistently landing good combos onto the squishies, and even landing combos onto multiple heroes. Ooh, Power Shot's gonna put out some damage. We did see, was that the AoE shielding? Yes, it was. Circle of Protection. So prioritizing the AoE is very good against the Mephisto. That will save you a lot of damage if they get a good Durance, for example. Not as good, obviously, in long fights. You know, Mephisto still gets his CDR from hitting you while you're protected. So even if you're protecting that first wave, or that first round, you have to be careful that he doesn't get a second round. The Maws of Stitches and Zagara gonna eat up the red team. Nice bunker from Stark to try and save Schumann, but the bunker just dies, and Marbuckle's shields are enormous right now. He is chasing in onto the blue team. My pal Shade falling low on the Uther. Had 9 hit points there. 9. And oh no, Miller Coffee chased a little bit too far and is going to get dropped. So 2 kills, down to 1, thanks to Ariel doing her thing with the Resurrect. Oh, heavens. Let me grab you. Please die. Thank you. I grabbed the wrong one. It's okay. It'll die. That'll go away in a second. I promise. Both teams now, you know, they've had their fill of fighting for a little while. We've got a Punisher. We get to see this. They don't. 45 seconds up here at the top on the Arcane Punisher in mid lane. They don't know, or I guess they do know that it's Arcane if they hover over the mini-map here in the bottom. But they don't know exactly when that's going to trigger. And man, like I said, it is a hair trigger game. Stark in the top lane needs to be careful. Probably, I think he realized just as I did. He's like, oh, they took that bruiser camp. And Cubico just hovering over, doing this thing that you do as Medivh, where you just look at the other team. You know where they are. It gives you information, and it forces the other team to play afraid because a portal could appear any moment. Malthael is going to clear out top, so they'll have the bruiser camp with the shaman here, counter pushing against the periodic catapults. But Marbuckle going to go in on the Kerrigan. He misses the combo, and the ley line going to, again, a little bit of anti-synergy there with with the D-Shield and the Nano Boost, but it just doesn't matter because he does so much damage. 1 Q on E-Keep just destroys the health bar, and the Resurrect is just another kill's worth of XP for them. Interesting interaction there with the ley line and the hook. It would have connected, but because Stitches was inside of the lane line, there was nothing for his hook to go back to. Alright, this is going to be the first Punisher for Camp Pause Wont Pause. They've been waiting all game to get to this point where they're kind of... They've scaled to the point where they just do so much damage that you can't exist. Even Zagara, you know, she has the Maw, which can eat a lot of things, but it cannot eat a D-shielded target. Ooh. Iron! Caught in a rough place. Really, really... that was a beautiful call. Cubico, you know, normally trying to do a leyline steal like that is pretty dangerous. But if you tell your team, hey, they don't have vision of our rotate, we can leave the shrine after I leyline and kill the healer who's standing on the point. Stagger out another death here. And now he's going to do the same thing here and just make him afraid. Ooh. Miller Coffee is going to be caught and gonna blow up. Cubico will pay with it. No, he doesn't! The D-Shield just in time, and it's a disaster. A second camp invade goes even better than the first one, as we're gonna see 3 members of gillyShark at Bingo Night fall. And now this Punisher is setting up to take a keep. Potentially even more, to be honest. They do have to be aware of the top lane here. We've got some stuff building up, but I don't think they're too worried about losing, you know, maybe a turret in top lane, because they are looking to open a win condition for sure. If they get a kill here with Nano Boost back in 25 seconds, then that could be game ending very easily here. And gillyShark is afraid because they know that the portal is there, so they're not able to bait it. So now John Cena is the 6th member here for the red team. Stark gonna be the one to bait it. I think that's smart. Malthael going to get eaten. Red team chasing after. I like the positioning there of the Durance on the pursuing teammates. Oh, there's the nano boosted Malthael. You can see his health bar just tick up super fast. Ariel gets caught by the Kerrigan in the backline, going to drop. Now, Punisher onto the core with about 1/3 of its health. Ariel's able to resurrect, but this is do or die now. Miller Coffee caught by the Kerrigan combo, misses the Maw, and that is a huge member of gillyShark down. D-Shield out onto 2 with the level 20, and this is going to be it for the series, I think. Stitches and Ariel are the only ones left, and with that, you're going to see Can't Pause, Won't Pause taking the win here. 4-1, or 3-1, in a 4-game best of 5 series. Well played, and GG's. I just saw that my mic was muted. I really, really hope I wasn't muted that whole time. If I was, my sincerest apologies. I think chat would have said something if I was. So I'm pretty confident. Actually, you know what? I can just pull up the stream real quick. Yes, I was fine. Alrighty. I must have just hit the wrong hotkey there. Oh man, what a series. Let me try and get a member of Can't Pause Won't Pause for an interview here. One moment. Who is their captain? I am just going to whisper Marbuckle, I think. You know what? I think Silent Shoe was in the... Alright. Stuff is set up here. We will maybe get an interview.
Oh, hello.
Alright, we're joined by Silent Shoe. How are you feeling after a pretty, I think, grueling but not too uncomfortable best of 5 series?
Woo. I don't know how descriptive that is, but that's how I feel.
No, I think that's a great description. That's how I feel too. Oh man. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Okay, so coming into this series, earlier in the season you had played against gillyShark and they had beaten you 2-0. So what were your thoughts coming into the series? You know, did you have thoughts of what you wanted to change, or did you just feel confident in your progress since then?
Confident in our progress. Confidence in our progress is how we were feeling. We hadn't found ourselves by the time we played them. I think, yeah, it was in our midst of 0 wins in a lot of games.
Yeah, and I think you got a lot of wins after your match against them. I think you won every set after. So keeping the streak hot.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we had a sub play that we wanted him on our team, but we were unable to add him for because he hadn't played in such a long time.
Right.
And he played with us that game with like 0 practice or anything with us. And then after that, we kind of figured out our core 5 through necessity.
All right. Well, looking at game one on Dragonshire, I think that was a pretty clean game for you guys. Are there, any thoughts you had going into that, or any thoughts about, what made that go so well?
I think we had a lot of just kind of mobility that they weren't able to respond to with the double global, uh, and it worked on our favor. Like they had a pretty scary comp if you just lined up and fought, but we were able to avoid the putting the toe on the line and punching each other.
Definitely. I think it felt pretty similar in game two. I felt like, I know the fall stat especially, I noticed, I wanted to shout out, was incredible in games one and two. I feel like it got so much value. Um, so I don't want to be the guy who talks about only the one game you lost, but I do want to talk about game three. So you came in with the TLV. I know both teams have played it. So, where do you think the plan kind of went awry, and how did you adjust after game three? Were there any thoughts about game three after it?
That big guy, I don't know what the name of that character is with the two heads. Yeah, he's a jerk. 'Cause that dude's a big jerk. Two
Yeah,
heads, double the jerk.
yeah, fair enough. And any thoughts from the rest of the team here that's joined us as well is totally welcome.
I think the Cho'Gall was a nice pick to throw a wrench in our plans. Certainly, if you're going to do something to stop a series in its tracks, Cho'Gall's a good pick for that.
And Zeratul too. Zeratul was
Zerto played really well.
Yeah, he played that perfectly.
All right. So game four, the one to seal off the set. I just want to know how you came up with that comp, because you've got a melee assassin, you've got Malthael, and then you just got 3 supports. So how long have you had that one cooking?
It was an accident. We had no intention of playing that. We just kind of ran into it somehow. I don't know what the thought process.
Yeah,
was.
we were all really salty. We just picked what we wanted to play.
Yeah. So like Cho'Gall, just play something.
I respect that. All right. It's getting late, so I won't keep you too long. The floor is yours for any shout outs. Yeah, go ahead.
Shout outs to all these guys. They're fucking awesome. It's a joy to play with all of them. Shout out to Shibes, who was our sub that game against them, and he was on Discord supporting us with all the memes. I think there's lots of boops. I haven't checked them all. Shout out to Kai for everything he does for us, and hopefully he is recovering excellent from his surgery. And shout out to you as well. It's awesome to be casted. It's fun to pull out crazy comps for an audience. We're showmen here,
Yeah.
And show women. So we just we like to put on a show.
Yeah, I was hoping to see some fun stuff, and at first, I won't lie, I was a little bit worried. First 2 games looked a little bit vanilla, but those last 2, absolutely worth it. That was a blast to cast.
We
I
accidentally
almost
picked the
picked
tank.
Probe in the first
Weird.
game.
Yeah, we didn't mean to pick the tank. We didn't have much time left in queue to sort of grab something random. Just let it randomly select.
Yep.
Tank
Alright.
was a mistake.
Well, thank you so much for an amazing series. Congrats on your win. Best of luck as you go forward throughout the bracket, and have a great night. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. That was Can't Pause Won't Pause versus gillyShark at Bingo Night. The upset here, the number 6, who, now is on, let me think. Okay, hold up. Let me go back to my info screen here. Now on a 5-0 streak with a 11-3 map score. Since their last loss, which was against gillyShark, they've gotten their revenge. They said it themselves. They figured it out, how they're playing, what their players are. Keep an eye on them. Who knows? They might win Div A. They've already beaten. I think they beat the number 1 seed. as one of the last matches of the season. So keep an eye on them. Keep looking for some crazy comps, and we'll see where they go. Thank you everyone so much for coming out, for watching the cast, for bearing with me with technical difficulties and general rust. Talking about waffles, French toast, and pancakes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep, rest my vocal cords a little bit. I will hopefully catch you all another time. See ya.